Hello everyone, my name is Manan and I'm going to review and edit a statement of purpose that a student sent me. The statement of purpose is for a university. I have changed the name and the city for privacy reasons, but I will go through this step by step and I will also correct it. And then later we will see how we can improve it even further by changing possibly its uh, its narrative, which I will also talk about. I think this is going to be quite a long video in which I will go through this myself and then correct it. So I'm going to start first, step one, by reading through it myself, and I will correct some small mistakes that I see. The first read through is also important because you want to exactly find out what the person is trying to communicate. Because if you look at from the outside, then there is certain sentences, some statements, but when you look at it as a whole after reading it, you'll try to see that what exactly is the person that they are trying to convey to the professor. And then we will also see how we can make it even better. I don't know about the person myself. All I got was this and their um, name and the email, but I will try to edit it as much as I have information from here. So I'll just jump right into it. I'm writing on behalf of my applications to study towards a doctoral degree in university. That is just the name that I put in instead of the university and the city here. I have a keen interest in doctoral program of PhD Material Science and Engineering. Doctoral program, I think it's unnecessary to have PhD here. Program for Material Science and Engineering. I strongly believe that I can contribute to the research community in true manner after this degree. Highly motivated in achieving some milestones in my educational life. The platform of University Lab helps me to learn various skills, technical experiences, and research. My graduate education at Institute of Space Technology has given me a firm foundation in material sciences and chemistry. I was particularly fortunate to work on a research project of thermal spraying coatings for the surface modification with Professor Omar at IIT Islamabad. I have submitted my work in around material design. Okay, so let's try to understand what the person is trying to say here. I would say this is not a very good paragraph because in this paragraph there are a lot of different things that the person is trying to say at the same time. They have expressed their motivation here. They have said that they want to be in the doctoral program. They've also said that they can contribute really well, and they've also said that they have all the background experience that they have. So basically, what this is like a condensed form of the whole statement of purpose, or what you can say this could be a just this paragraph by itself could be something like a proposal for research, but this is not necessarily a good start for a statement of purpose. Ideally, for a statement of purpose, what you should start with is your introduction, of course, who you are, and then start with some kind of motivation of what made you pursue this path of where you are right now, instead of just stating that you need to instead of just stating that you studied in such and such places. So, but we'll go ahead and then we'll see what we can do about that. In the past, I changed my field from pure chemistry to applied chemistry. This new field, has developed my interest a lot as it is application-based study. I gained a lot of good experience while working at KRL. One of secret, I don't think we should say that here. One of highly advanced and prestigious organization in Pakistan for nuclear studies and at US Pakistan Center for Advanced Studies in Energy. It boosted my confidence, and also luckily I'm selected for coding to nuclear disposal unit. Boosted my confidence, and also luckily I am selected for coding to nuclear disposal unit. Lastly, I'm proud to be an alumni of IST. I think that is too much information here right now, and it's not relevant. But here I would really caution against using this word luckily, because when you're trying to write a statement of purpose, you are trying to tell the other person what you have achieved and what you will achieve while working with them. But saying that you were luckily selected for something, it disposes you off. So it means that you didn't have any effort that you put it in. So I would not just put it here. It's not just luck that somebody selects you for a special program. So I would say here, and due to my consistent hard work, I was also selected for coding. I'm not sure if it's the right word. Maybe it could be posting, but I'm not sure. Anyway, in this paragraph, what the person is trying to say here is the fields that they changed, what they gained in their research lab, the practical experience that they gained, and it boosted my confidence. To be very fair, I think all of this can be eliminated, and actually this is the only sentence that matters for the statement of purpose in this case, because all of this information is already, or it should be already, in your CV. So it makes no sense to have this again here. I would not put it again. If I would, and I would condense it, and then I would relate it to some way in how it would boost my confidence. So anyway, moving ahead. As for future concerned, my intentions are in getting education from abroad in a well-reputed institute. University is one of the best institutes. This is the name of the university. It is one of the best institutes, not only in the city, but in the entire world. Exactly. I think this is the kind of statement that our students use a lot, and this is not really good. You are basically praising a university for doing something, and you don't even know that. I mean, the professor or the admission committee that you're sending it to, they don't need to know that their university is good. They don't need to know that you're praising their university or you like their university. This doesn't leave a very good impression. What should you do instead here is, what you should say that I am relevant in some way to what you're doing, and I can contribute to the work, and it would be the best institute for me and the subject that I'm working on currently. Stating here it's like this, but that just leaves a bad impression. So I'm just going to delete it. This university has very professional, experienced research groups, many authentication. This is why it's a great honor for me to continue. But again, this is not very relevant. Just praising. This program is also important for me because the world will rely on nanoscience in future. Nanotechnology will be the leading research area in the future. Okay, that's a statement, but then again, we need to know why is it so, and what is the relevance for the nanotechnology to the work that you have been doing in applied chemistry, because this does not relate in any way to it before. So in the future, so I will try my best to work hard in this field under Dr. Sam's supervision. I will put my strong efforts to generate some well-sound publications in university. So I will try my best to work hard in this field under Dr. Sam's supervision. I think again, this is not very good. You're basically saying that you will work hard, but that doesn't mean on what exactly. I will put my strong efforts to generate some well-sound publications. I will put my strong efforts to generate some well researched publications. In university, Dr. Sam is presenting work on nanosciences, renewable energy, and environmental sustainability. It really energizes me to do my research in your work institute. Again, this is not very good because it just says here that what is professor doing, but it doesn't say here how is that relevant to your work, that what you have already done. So what I would do in this case here is that I would probably try to put in something that that shows how relevant you are to the professor. It doesn't matter what the professor is doing right now. What only matters is how can you contribute to that. It really energizes me to do my research in your work institute. Again, this is a statement. Unnecessary praise, which is just leaves a bad taste. Instead, we can say, I am very motivated to study these subjects under the tutelage of supervision. After the completion of the studies, the program will really help me to produce innovative and technical work in this concerning field in Pakistan. To produce innovative and technical work after the completion of studies, this program will really help me to further this subject area in Pakistan. As Pakistan is better to put here. Pakistan is a developing country and facing huge power and energy crisis. I want to help my country in the field of science and technology as a scholar. Again, that is not very good, and that is very vague, because you are not just talking about science and technology. You were first talking about material sciences, then we talked about nanotechnology, and now we're talking about just science and technology, which is not very consistent. You have to make sure that what you're saying is relevant. So if you want to state that, for example, we are facing huge power and energy crisis, then you should just say that in the field of science, technology, and power generation, and make sure that somehow you can relate it to the generation of power. So I would say that this needs a lot of revision. Secondly, this program has some personal importance for me because I'm the first person in my family who wished to pursue doctoral degree. I belong to a village where no electricity is present yet. I started my struggle from village to city, where I do many jobs to support my family. continue my education. This is really tough time to generate some leaders that generated leadership qualities in me. I'm thankful to my parents and teachers who supported me in every scenario. And I would like to tell you that no one in my family has yet graduated from secondary school. To lift my family, I had to set some example from me. Shortly, this education has all the affection, recipients, motivation, starting from self, family, country, ending to research community and benefit for others. This education, I would say it's better to put this program, has all the necessary qualities that are needed to develop myself, contribute towards my family and my country. And my country. Lastly, I'm thankful to Research Council, city government, for giving scholarship opportunity to students. I think that is unnecessary. You shouldn't put it. Thanks in anticipation. That is not needed as well. Okay, so what do I think about this? So what I would do, I think this letter needs a lot of work, and since I don't have any information, I think it would be best if I just write comments on how or what the person or the student should add here. So the first thing that I would do is that I would put this and I would approach it from the start. And I would start it by saying that I can write probably here the introduction. Cut it here. And that is here. I'm writing on behalf of my application to study towards a doctoral degree in university. I have a very keen interest in doctoral program for material science and engineering. I have a very due to my I am very much interested. Actually, what I would do here is I would put in something like due to my work as a temperature in one most prestigious institutes. No, I think that's too much information. I think that in the intro we should just focus on I am very much interested in the doctoral program for material science. I strongly believe that due to my past education and my experience in one of the most prestigious institutions of Pakistan, I can contribute very effectively to this degree. After that, this is the introduction, and then I think I would like to add here what was the motivation. Whenever we try to write a statement of purpose, excuse me. Whenever we try to write a statement of purpose, we have to understand that we need to grab the attention of the reader. A statement of purpose is almost like a story, and if a story is not, it does not grab you by the very start, if it does not have a hook, then you will not read it very properly. So I think all the statement that the person says about growing up in a village, coming from a place where he is the only person in his family to reach this kind of education level, I think that is very, very impressive, and that is very relevant, and that should be at the top instead of all this experience that is put here. So what I would do, or what I would prefer or suggest the person to do, is to add this here, and let me see what I can do here to correct this. I would eliminate this here. Be always careful when you're trying to talk about your country. I mean, especially when you're coming from a developing country like Pakistan, it's a very cliche statement to say that, yeah, I want to help my country and developing, and I want to contribute in some way. You have to support your statement by examples. That is extremely, extremely important, that I keep telling to all the students. Every time you say that I want to contribute towards my country somehow, you should say that this is how I have done it before. And your statement should not be empty words. That is extremely important, that I tell all the students. But anyway, this going ahead, I think, how will I try to arrange it? I come from a very small village in Pakistan. Growing up, I lived without any electricity. I think it would be really good if you can insert some kind of a incident or something that happened that prompted you to study something technical. So, for example, I can just say here that the first time I saw electricity was when I traveled outside my village at the age of 4, seeing the lights and the machinery seeing the lights made me fall in love with the wonder of modern engineering. It was then when I decided to become an engineer. Now, this statement here is, you can think about it as a hook. And hook is a necessary part of the statement of purpose, as I said it before, because you have to convince the other person to tell them that, okay, this is the reason why I became an engineer. It wasn't just a random decision that I made. Became an engineer. I worked really hard by studying, reaching my educational goals. I hardly considering that I am the first person in my family who has reached educational level reaching my educational goals. It was especially trying to combine these two statements. I worked really hard by studying and reaching my educational goals. Delete that. I worked really hard. I will put these statements here. I worked really hard by studying and working many different jobs to support my family, eventually becoming the only person in my family to ever pursue a doctoral degree. This experience, this hardship of continuous hard struggle turned me to this continuous hard struggle developed the kind of leadership qualities in me that I would have never been able to get from anywhere else. I think this can still be made better, but I think it's enough. In those dark and struggling times, it was It was my parents and my family who supported me in every step of the way. It has been a very tough journey, but not without its rewards. Now, you see, writing this in the start gives the impression of a person who knows what he's doing and who has a very unique and distinct background to where he is applying. The purpose of a statement of purpose is also to show who is the person behind the CV, who is the person behind the application, because the statement of purpose is the only way that you show who the person really is. And that is why I really support, and I really don't like when students actually put in their statistical or their data that was already in CV in their statement of purpose. Try to limit any kind of information that you have already put it in your CV. So how would I make it better further? We have created a hook, we have added some information, and now what we can do is to say how the program is familiar to the person that he has researched. I think I will put this paragraph further. Now delete this. Put it here. To going ahead, I would like the material I think I would like to combine these two things and make it the kind of experience that the person has. And then we can add something else. I think I would like to add something about the experience here. After I school education. I got enrolled into the institute to IST. Actually, it's always better to write the full name of the institute. It's always good to write. It's always good to not use abbreviations. Institute space technology Islamabad, where I studied material sciences, where my particular focus was on the topic of material sciences. This interest led me to work on a research project for thermal spraying coatings for the surface modification with Professor Dr. Muhammad Yasser. I think I would like to say here what this experience contributed. This gave me this hands-on experience. Actually, this hands-on work of doing research helped me doing the research motivated me to pursue academic research even further. That was one of the reasons why I decided to change my fields from pure to applied chemistry. After graduating, I got a job working at for nuclear studies, having professional experience really made me confident in my practical research abilities. Now this has been added. I think it would be really good to add some kind of more information on what the person has also done. In a statement of purpose, it's not just important to state that I worked here and I worked here. You have to state that what exactly was it that you learned from there. So a good way to think about it is that statement of purpose is basically a narration of your CV. I'll add it here. I am particularly interested in this program because I want to further my research on the topic of nanotechnology, specifically the coatings of high engineering material services. The work that Dr. Sam, the work that Dr. Sam is it would be better to put particularly the work of Dr. Sam in nanosciences. I think it's really good to add here something like what exactly is the topic that you want to work on. So I mean, it would be really good to state something here like I would really like to study the structural and physical aspects of coatings on high tensile materials. I mean, this is just a statement, this is just a random statement that I put in, but instead you can put something here that would that is actually very beneficial for you. And in the end, I think I will just probably conclude it. I think this is still quite a bit short. I think it can be made even more, but I think all this advice should help the person to finalize and make a really good statement of purpose. So in this video, we saw how we can take a statement of purpose and edit it to make a very good, strong impression. And in this video, we also learned what is the importance of creating a very good hook, which is very, very important for a very good impression of your statement of purpose. We also learned that it's really important to put in exactly what you learned from each job. So instead of just saying that I worked in XYZ for 5 years, you can say that I worked in XYZ for 5 years, which instilled in me the confidence that I was able to lead my own projects. I was able to have the kind of confidence that led me to apply to even more jobs. So always, always follow your data with actually stating what you gained from there. I think I will just leave it to this here. This still gives some guidance and impression, and I hope it really, really helped you all in understanding how to make a good, impressionable statement of purpose. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for watching this.